Hello and welcome to the summer session, summer 2022. My name is Mark Corbet and I'm going to be your instructor for this class of linear algebra. This is Math 2318, section 1501. It's going to be going between June 6th and July 12th, which is a very short period of time, only 5.5 weeks. So keep that in mind. My email is markjcorbet@lonestar.edu. My WebEx link is right here on the syllabus, which you can link to very quickly. This is a 3-semester-hour class with a prerequisite of Calculus 2 or Math 2414. If you do not have the prerequisite, you need to contact me right away. The modality of this class is online. We're going to have two main platforms, one which is kind of a minor platform, but important, which is D2L. That's the platform hosted by Lone Star College. In D2L, you'll find your syllabus, course details, student grades. Student grades will only be in D2L, although you'll see some grades in the other platform. Your official grade is going to be the one posted in D2L. My Math Lab is the second platform. In My Math Lab, you'll have access to the textbook, the homework, and the tests. That's really important. You absolutely have to have access to this. So it's required that you go to this link that I have in the syllabus and sign up particularly for this class. You need to look for the Corbet 56637 with the name Math 2318 Linear Algebra Corbet Summer 22. Don't sign up to any other course because I won't see it and you won't have access to the proper homework. You'll need to pay for that access. It's not that expensive. I believe it's about either $69 or $74, either one. You pay that directly with your credit card as you use this link. You do have without payment access for 14 days, but after that you do have to pay for the access. If you do upgrade from without payment or a temporary access, make sure you're accessing and paying for that in the initial enrollment. Don't re-enroll into the course after a temporary access because the two accounts won't be linked and you'll lose all your previous homework. The textbook that you're going to be getting online, the ebook, is Linear Algebra and its Applications, 6th edition. That's by David Lay, Stephen Lay, and Judy McDonald. You can also buy this book in hard copy, although it's not necessary. You might even be able to get a second-hand copy of that. In fact, any second-hand copy of Linear Algebra can be used if you need a hard copy in front of you. As far as technology goes, we will be working with mostly the TI-84 Plus model, but I'll also be doing supporting stuff in other programs. I'll do occasionally stuff with Desmos or Symbolab. These are things that are available for you. But primarily, you should just make use of the technology that's been suggested or limited. Especially on assessments, I will be limiting technology or restricting it based on the instructions on the assessment. So make sure you follow that. Our purpose is to study matrices and linear algebra, but basically to cover the course outcomes as follows: solve systems of linear equations, Gauss-Jordan elimination, matrix inversion, matrix operations, inverses, determinants, vector spaces, subspaces, linear independence, span bases, eigenvalues, eigenvectors, solving problems with eigenvectors, using a mixture of principles of matrix algebra to linear transformations, inner products, associated norms, and diagonalizations. Throughout the course, we'll be doing some proofs and definitions, basic theorems, so you've got to keep that in mind. It's a fairly advanced course, so we will be working at a pretty fast pace in a fairly advanced way. The course outline is pretty clear. We will be working primarily on one chapter a week, and there will be a chapter test that follows that. The chapter test will always follow the week after. So for example, if you look, test 1 on chapter 1 will be following right after. It's actually scheduled for June 13th if you look on the due dates in My Math Lab. We'll have 5 of those. Basically, the only time that we have extra is in week 5. We're going to add just a little bit of chapter 6, but that'll be it basically. In the 6th week, July 11th and 12th, you'll have your final exam. That's going to be offered in person, primarily on campus on July 12th between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. on the Winship building in room 117. I'll give you more details on that later on. Video presentations are going to be a key part to this course. So when we go to My Math Lab, you'll see that. So I'll switch over and bump into My Math Lab here for you. In My Math Lab, you will see, actually we'll go back to the course. So this is My Math Lab. A lot of you are already used to that. So in My Math Lab, just select the right course. Make sure again that it's Math 2318, Linear Algebra Core Base Summer 22. In that, you should see your assignments. They will be listed by date. Your first one you should see is something like section 1.1 homework. When you choose that assignment, you will see all kinds of things. Primarily, you'll see on the left side a copy of the syllabus, a video on the syllabus, which is what you're watching now, and then some skill videos. You'll primarily work on those first or watch the skill video first. Then you might go over to the textbook for chapter 1.1 and take a look at that. So we have the e-textbook here. Oops, go back here. There we go. E-textbook. You can flip into the e-textbook, the interactive textbook. Go to the first chapter, Systems of Linear Equations, and then you can start paging through the first part, section 1, and you can see it, the interactive textbook, and work on it. That's basically how the textbook's set out. Gives you lots of good examples, lots of chances to work on things, get an idea, a feel for what's going on, etc. Once you've got that down, we can go back to the course here. Whoops. See that again, preview, here we go. So then we can go to our question and work on our questions. In My Math Lab, the questions are really well set. You have also some options. You can do help me solve this. It'll give you some ways of solving it, how to set it up. View an example, completed example. You can also see that, and it'll list all the steps of an example. And then you can also see get more help. One of the things is ask my instructor. If you click on that, that'll automatically send me an email. Or if you want to know particularly where you are in the textbook, just click textbook. You can also show the media that's included with this assignment, which is, in this case, the video stuff that we have. So that's just kind of what you have in each section. You complete all the sections. There are 9 sections, for example, in Chapter 1. There's a review quiz that's available to you, which I strongly suggest you try. Get some good examples in, and then your test 1. When you do your test, you can do it earlier, but you cannot do it later. So you must do your test by the 14th at midnight. So if you look at this time, this is going to be midnight on the 14th, which is, I believe, the Tuesday of the 2nd week. That's the latest you can do the Chapter 1 test. You can do it earlier. You can do all of this on the very first day if you wanted, if you had the time to do that. One of the limitations we'll see with the test is that, we'll go back here, you must get 70% on all the homeworks before the test opens up and unlocks. That means on section 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, you have to be successful with all of those sections. If you're not, it's going to send you back. We need to go back and keep doing that. When you do a homework, you can keep doing problems and going through the homework as many times as you want to make sure you reach that 70%. That's the problem. Okay, you don't have to keep restarting the homework. Just keep working on it. If you're not successful on more than one chapter or set of homework, I'm going to assume that you're abandoning the course or you're not able to keep up. That might mean that I'll just automatically drop you from the course. It's not totally automatic. It's still your responsibility to drop the course rather than getting an F, but it's a pretty rough course, so you're just going to have to keep up. That homework's worth 20%. We're just going to take the average of all your homeworks together. I don't give you any marks for the videos. For watching the videos, it is listed there. You might end up being 1 point out of a couple of hundred, but it really doesn't count. The mark for 70% are the homework questions themselves. The tests, there will be 5 chapter tests as we saw listed, and I'm going to just count best 4 out of 5 for 55% of your mark. Oops, gotta change this little thing here, the 60 to 55. So that's 55% is going to be your test modules. All the tests must be completed by the due date. Online tests are taken on the honor system, but I'm going to give you instructions and restrictions on how you should be taking those tests. You're allowed to use a graphing calculator, but you can't be looking at other stuff or looking up notes or stuff like that. You're also going to be time limited on the tests, so you're going to have very little ability to do that. But if I get the impression from looking at the way the web pages are being moved or the way the examples are being completed, I have the discretion to put all of you into a WebEx and do a WebEx session instead. And I have also the discretion to fully proctor the test. So if I find that there's some problems with any kind of academic honesty, I will lock down the entire test and you'll be required to show up at a certain time and do the test with a lockdown browser. Hope I don't have to do that, but it is an option if I find that there's some problems. Part of the lockdown browser, there might be a cost to it because some of the lockdown browsers are costly. You have to make sure you have a quiet, controlled space. You have to be prepared to give me a full 360 of your environment. And don't forget, whenever you're doing a test, I have the option of asking you for a photo ID before you do the test. So we may have to get into WebEx and you show me your ID before I can unlock the test for you. That will be possibly random throughout the course, where while you're doing a test, I will ask you to come into a WebEx and show me your photo ID while you're taking the test. It may be during the test, after the test, or just before the test. It all depends. So the system will give me a warning, or it'll send me you'll get a password message required, or password required message while you're taking the test or before you're trying to take the test. And that means you're going to have to get in touch with me about the photo ID. What else? Cumulative final exam, that's 25%. I am scheduling that in person, making that available to you in person. It's a lot easier to do a final in person. I do have an alternative to that. If you absolutely have to do that online final exam will be proctored. It's going to be proctored at a specific time. In fact, at the same time that the test is scheduled. So on July 12th, 4 to 8 p.m., that'll be a proctored session. And all of those things with the proctored session apply. You'll have to print out the test at 4 o'clock once you receive it by email. Do all the work in front of the WebEx camera, showing all of the work, scan the completed test, and send it back to me by email before 8 o'clock. Please don't send photos. I can't correct photos. It has to be a PDF scan, so you'll have to make those arrangements. You also have to contact me if that's an option you want to do. You'll have to contact me by email before July 10th to arrange that alternative online proctor test session. Other policies you can see are linked here in the syllabus. FERPA Title IX, academic integrity, which is important. All these policies, you can go and use this link, find them and read about them. We also have some North Harris math syllabus policies. You can contact the science team. Me, I'm the math chair. Also, Tim Algio is the incoming math chair. I'm the outgoing math chair this summer. So you can get a hold of them if you need to. Course resources, we don't have a whole bunch. I mean, YouTube is your friend. Talk about that. But basically, we don't really have a whole bunch of videos ourselves. We do have some tutoring. Again, that may be limited for linear algebra. Again, YouTube is your friend, and also you have the resource of emailing me, ask my instructor, or emailing me and making a WebEx time that I can help you. We have also a list of the faculty, full-time and part-time policies, other policies, OTS, help desk, 6-drop rule, all these things. You can look at the links and get more information about those. So once again, to review, the way the course works is you're going to go to My Math Lab, you're going to start the course, watch this video anyways, and then you're going to go and proceed to work on the assignments one at a time as you go through. So your first thing is to sign into My Math Lab, get access, click on homework section 1.13 and start that homework and just get going on it. If you have any questions, contact me. Otherwise, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video.